Hello, I am Danielle Zirkle, a second-year student in the entry-level Doctorate of Occupational Therapy program at Nova Southeastern University's Tampa Bay Regional Campus. Today, I will be showing you how to adapt an electronic toy, starting with how to make a battery interrupter, then how to make a push switch, a tilt switch, and then I'll show a demonstration with a client named Bob. We will start with making the battery interrupter, which allows for battery-operated toys to be accessible for many abilities by redirecting the way a toy is turned on and off. The interrupter will permanently stay in the compartment so that different types of switches can be plugged in to meet the needs of any situation. You will start by cutting the audio cable in half. Taking the male end of the split cable, expose the wires by removing the black insulation. You'll repeat this process for the two wires underneath by removing their insulation. Next, you will take an adhesive foam strip and cut down to the size that can fit in a battery compartment. You're going to sandwich this between the exposed wires, so one wire will be on one side of the foam, one on the other. You will then take two copper squares, slightly smaller than the foam, and attach one to each side of the foam strip, covering the exposed wires. You're then going to unscrew the battery compartment lid, making sure that the switch is in the off position. You're going to remove one battery, then place the battery interrupter on that spring, and then place the battery back on top. Check to make sure that this works by turning the switch to the on position. Since the toy did not activate, we know that the battery interrupter is successful. Now we will make a push switch. So this relies on pressure to activate the toy, and it's typically larger and more accessible than the original switch. The female end that was put aside before, we will now use. Similar to before, you're going to remove the black insulation and insulation from the wires underneath, exposing the wires but making sure to not cut all the way to the conjunction of colored and black insulation. You're going to take one of the exposed wires and place it on a copper square, making sure part of the center wire with the colored insulation is attached to the square. Use electrical tape to secure the wires to the copper, and then repeat the process for the other exposed wire and copper square. Then open the DVD case and place the wires on the opposite side, securing the wires with copper in place using super glue, and allow it to dry. Accessorize the DVD case by placing pictures in the clear cover slot and securing the case shut with tape. You can test the device by clicking the DVD case closed and plugging the female end to the battery interrupter's male end. Apply pressure directly to the center of the copper squares, making sure they touch and activating the toy. Now we will make a tilt switch. So that conducts electricity through a mercury ball in the center, and it moves based off of the angle or position of the switch. So when the switch is tilted in one direction, gravity will pull the mercury and activate or deactivate the toy. You will cut the unused audio cable exactly as described before, exposing the wires on the female end. Carefully take one of the exposed wires and attach it to the metal pole on the tilt switch. Secure the position with electrical tape and repeat for the other wire and pole. You're going to cut the foam cylinder to about the height of the toy and cover the cylinder in duct tape, resembling a lightsaber. You can secure the tilt switch by taping black duct tape to a lightsaber bottom. Now let's discuss why we adapted this toy for Bob. So Bob is a 6-year-old boy with autism spectrum disorder and sensory processing disorder. Bob has poor execution for a sequence of tasks that involve his hands, such as flipping over, turning things on, turning things off. He also has poor postural strength and stability, which makes him fatigue quickly and become overstimulated. Also, Bob is afraid of the dark and has poor sleep hygiene and routine. The switches were created to support independence in play and exploration and promote quality of life. The motor skills, postural strength and stability, and sequence of tasks involving hands that are challenged before are challenged less now due to the ease of use of the activation switches. These can be used as coping mechanisms and devices when overstimulated. He can press it for as long as he would like. It's a good focusing tool. It also provides emotional support and proper sleep hygiene for nighttime activities. If he's afraid of the dark and can't fall asleep, this promotes him staying in bed. This also allows for social interaction and skill development. He can play with a friend or a family member. He also can practice the motor skills by listening to different theme songs from Star Wars, and he can use the activation switches without fatigue.